was right hard too. He's still doing his.
You sure you're... Well, that's yesterday's homework. Like even the dates it's from Tuesday.
I remember doing this one this year. I wrote it down this year.
You might have the other day's homework.
So, since you did homework, this is like the third day in a row. Okay, so you did work. So if you bring me the proper work, either today or Monday, but it's going to be a weekend, so do not forget. If you show me proper work, it will not count. You did try something, you just didn't do it correctly. Alright, so when are you going to bring me proper work?
Either Monday.
Either Monday.
Okay, Monday, so don't forget. Alright, go ahead and write it down on a piece of paper for you. Your homework was to answer page 18. It was questions 1 through 8. So go ahead and write it down so you won't forget. And then write it on a piece of paper, the green slip, that way I'll know what I'm checking for. I put my pen in. I'll be back.
I'm not having anything.
What do you mean?
We don't need to be back right now.
Okay.
Yeah, looks perfect. Alright, so let's go over it. So page 18, questions 1 through 8. Who gave England the first printed English Bible? Alright, Genesis.
William Shakespeare.
Good job. What's your complete sentence so we have practice with it?
The first printed English New Testament was given to England by William Shakespeare.
Good job. I said Bible by accident. So yes, first printed English New Testament. Number 2, what king broke England away from the Roman Church? We talked about this the other day. Ethan.
Henry VIII.
Good job. And what's your complete sentence?
Henry VIII broke away from the Roman Church.
Good job. Number 3, explain how the Reformation spiritually prepared the English people to colonize the New World.
The Reformation allowed the founders to better write our rules. Because the Reformation allowed them to use the Bible. Then our laws are based on the Bible.
And then what else as well? So you're thinking more of like politics.
Yeah.
What else?
Spiritually give them maybe motivation.
Okay, yeah, so they wanted religious freedom. We're going to talk about the Anglican Church and how they were persecuting to a certain extent their own people, right? And then there's one more thing.
What was the angelic church?
Oh, it does look like Angelican. Anglican is how some people pronounce it. Okay.
There's another thing?
Yeah, one more thing that they're looking for, or that the Reformation got
Economic
ready for. Yep. So that's one of the reasons why they come over is because they want economic freedom. They don't like being trapped with the lords and serfs idea. So they like the idea that every man works to glorify God and to better themselves. They want better politics or laws, so that way it's not just divine by a king. And then also religious freedom. They want to worship God as how they think is right according to the Bible, not just because the monarch says so. Alright, what are we on? 4. Who was the first modern explorer to reach the mainland of North America? Alright, Krista, you go backwards.
John Cabot explored the mainland North America first.
Alright, yeah, John Cabot is how most people say it, but yeah, Cabot works as well for us. Number 5, why was Sir Martin Frobisher sent to the New World? We'll just go backwards, so Ethan.
He was sent to find the Northland Princess.
Good job. And then number 6, who was the first Englishman to sail around the world and he did not die? Genesis.
Drake.
Good job. What's your complete sentence?
The first Englishman to sail around the world was Drake.
Okay, Sir Francis Drake. You make your paper.
Not light skinned Drake.
Alright, now keep in mind, we shouldn't have a whole lot of discussion or extra comments distracting from class, but I have to move relatively quick, and I don't need just random comments. You understand? Alright, number 7. Discuss the 3 freedoms that motivated Englishmen to colonize the New World. Chris, you kind of already went over these losers, so go ahead and go for it.
Religious, political, and economic freedoms were motivation for going to the New World.
Yeah, and also it says too, discuss them. So religious freedom is what?
Freedom to worship your own God.
Okay, well, God as you see fit, but yeah, so how you want to worship God. That's the differences between separatists and Puritans. They both believe in God, but they had different ways over how they wanted to do it. Alright, and then economic?
Well, economic is pretty clear. It's money freedom. You can do what you want to make your own money, and you're not set based on where you're born.
You're not the social class. And then the political.
It gives you the right to vote, and it's not a monarchy, so you actually have a say in what goes on.
They wanted representative government, is what they were looking for at the time. Alright, number 7. Oh, I reached number 7. Number 8. Name the 3 groups involved in English colonization. So there's 3 of you, so we'll just name one. Chris, name one. job, that's one. Genesis, name one.
The business.
Good job. Alright, Ethan.
Settlers.
Yep, settlers, so people just coming over as well. Alright, you can go ahead and put that away. Now, because of Corona, we can't use big dice game, so I have miniature dice game now. I should get all my dice back at the end of class as a side note. No stealing my dice and trying to take them with you to other classes. So, if you choose a color, this is your color, at least for now. As a side note, if you become overly distracted by the fact that you have a colored dice on your desk, you will lose the dice and you can no longer play. So make sure your dice is not distracting to you or anybody else. Choose a color. Alright, choose a color. Life's a struggle some days, apparently. Wow.
I can't get it, so
It's
I
him.
Like all of them now, just kidding.
Yeah, I think blue because he wanted to.
See how quickly you got that out?
My fingernails aren't as long as pterodactyls. So I
His
can-
fingernails aren't long as pterodactyls
Yeah,
either.
that's true, that's true.
Okay,
Small
so how we play this game, I think you'll understand it. So I'm gonna ask we're just for the four of you, we're just gonna,
Sorry, I
if
dropped
it
it.
becomes
I dropped it.
distracting,
I dropped it.
take it. Alright, so we're just gonna go basically in a circle. So this is partly luck again. The smaller dice, they are lighter, so be careful, make sure that you don't have a ricochet. Remember from last year, they have to stay on your desk, so you probably want to make sure you have a good flat area that that your dice can roll on. So that way it's not ricocheting also, if they're definitely going to be lighter than last year's dice. So be careful whenever you roll. You don't want to have too much force and have your dice go and then clatter all over my ground, because it is going to be loud now. Alright, so we'll just start with Chris, we'll just work around, so make sure you close up your textbooks, so that way we can be going over the turns, and people, lots of people that you need to be knowing in this section. Alright, so thinking back over it, who drew the line of demarcation? We'll start with Chris, work around.
Hey, bro.
Who drew the line of demarcation?
Where's the start with?
Pete, technically, I guess, for his title.
Pedro? Like, what are you asking?
Who drew the line of demarcation?
Prince Henry the...
Just like this.
It's okay,
I
move
don't understand what the question is. I thought it was Pedro Cabrillo.
We're not there. Okay, we're just gonna go in a. I guess we can go counterclockwise. All right, Genesis. Love who? Second. Second. I'm about to go to Ethan.
Third.
Final answer. You can't keep going up. Okay, so pick an answer.
Third.
No, Ethan.
Pope Alexander the Sixth.
Yes. Pope Alexander VI drew the line of demarcation. Roll your little dice.
6.
Okay, no cheating.
I'm not.
So we'll just keep going in a circle. So we'll go to Brecken next. All right, Brecken. What were the two countries involved with the line of demarcation that it applied to? Good job. Good job. Roll your dice.
7.
Okay. Yes, Genesis.
So, I'm not really like smart. When it comes to my room, you know, so like that's on the quiz, can I put the number?
You may write the number. That is fine. I'm not gonna do that. All right. All right. Now, who is landed on the coast of Brazil for Portugal and claimed it for Portugal? His last name begins with a C.
Did I already say his name?
Possibly.
Pedro Cabrillo.
Yes.
Was that a roll?
No.
It's on a paper, so I don't want to...
Okay. We will. You may roll one more time if you want to. Just make sure it rolls off your fingers. There you go. All right.
I got 8.
Person good.
No.
All right. Who discovered Florida?
Ponce Leon.
Good job. What's his first name now? That we've added it in the textbook.
Ponce.
What?
Pon.
Okay, I'll let you have it, but Juan now. Juan Ponce
Juan or
de
Juan?
Leon.
Fine.
It's Juan, but
Juan.
remember it's pronounced with an H in Spanish.
On?
Yeah, Juan.
Juan.
Yeah. It rhymes with Leon. Alright. See me after class because you're talking. Alright. It's Ethan's turn. Alright, Ethan. Where was I? Oh, who discovered the Pacific Ocean?
De Soto.
Nope.
What?
Pacific. You're thinking Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Who discovered Pacific Ocean? Alright, Chris?
Start with?
His last name, if you're talking like the proper last name, not with the D, it starts with B.
B?
B.
Oh.
my
It's okay.
God.
It's okay. Watch your words. We don't say that.
Are you guys knowing?
Yes, I know it.
I don't know.
It's okay. Well, I mean, it's here and then Genesis, and then the question restarts.
Starts with the, in
Can we tell
tell me what did it say in the book? What did it start with?
A B.
What?
A B.
Yeah, for the last name?
What's the
Only
second
a
word?
part.
Nope.
Vasco de Balboa.
Good job. Vasco de Balboa. Roll. Alright, Ethan again. Who embarked on it? Who do we give credit for a 3-year voyage around the world, but he died?
Magellan.
Good job. What's his first name? Okay, I'll let you have it because you got last name.
Ferdinand.
Yeah, Ferdinand Magellan. Good job.
Two.
I'll keep track of your points this time. Alright, Brecken. Who conquered the Aztecs? Good job. Remember his first name? It's okay, you got last name. So Hernando Cortez. Oh,
So how many Fernandos are there?
a lot. It's a really common Spanish name apparently. Alright, who conquered the Incas of
Pizarro.
Peru? Good job. And then remember his first name?
Pizza, I don't know.
Okay, Francisco is how they technically say it.
Francisco?
Yeah, but it looks like Francisco. Here we go.
Second.
Alright, who explored the Mississippi River? This is just the next
De
one.
Soto.
Good job. What do you remember his first name?
Juan.
No.
Jose.
No.
Carlos.
No. Fernando.
Common Spanish?
Yeah. Fernando de Soto.
John, Juan.
Alright, who explored the coast of California?
Cabrillo.
Good job, Juan Cabrillo. He's a good guy.
Seven.
Alright, who was the African that helped the Spanish? This is a weird one. This is a hard one. It's more of African. Okay,
Where?
say again.
Is it like, starts with an E?
It does.
Is there a Q?
Oh, no, not in this one.
Akari?
Oh, Carlos?
No, Icaro.
Icaro?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Estefanico.
What?
Estefanico.
Close enough. Estevanico. I'll take it. Alright. What is the first permanent European settlement in the New World?
St. Augustine.
Good job. Roll. Yes.
So in California, it's San Francisco, not Cisco.
Yeah, you're going Spanish pronunciation. But I mean, most of the time, because of American pronunciation, it kind of deteriorates over time. So, yeah. Alright, what is the oldest road in the United States? Good job. Real. So that's the full name for it. So El Camino Real. Roll. Alright, what was the first European settlement in California?
What
Not
was the
San
second word
Francisco.
start with?
The second word starts with D.
Diego.
What was it?
Sandy.
Good job. San Diego.
What? San Diego.
Alright, what was the major religion of the Spanish? So most of the countries that they colonized also have this religion.
Catholic.
Good job, or Roman Catholicism. Alright, who was the king of Spain whenever he sent over the Spanish Armada?
5 left a second. 0.
Okay, go for a second.
8.
For a second. Oh, I knew I was skipping people. Who discovered the Grand Canyon?
Wait, who were you at?
Britain. Alright,
Let's start with.
his lesson begins with the C. Grand Canyon. Take a couple seconds to get good.
Pinozo.
Nope.
Coronado.
Coronado. So Francisco Coronado.
Is that what Colorado's named after?
I don't think so. I think it's named after. I don't think so. I could be wrong though. I haven't checked to see why it's named Colorado. But if that helps you to remember,
That's how I
Colorado River, like supposedly 2020 evolution carved up the Grand Canyon. So Coronado. If that helps you remember, do it. Yeah. All right. Whose exploration inspired the wealthy 7 cities of Cibola, or the 7 cities of gold? Who was the explorer? Who explored Texas, but his account of the expedition.
Baca?
No, that's somebody else.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no, wait. Yes, that is what I asked.
I about to
I forgot
say.
which question I was from.
I
Yes,
thought that
so,
was-
cabeza de vaca, okay, roll.
6. Snake
Alright.
can't roll anything but a 6 or 7 or an 8.
Alright, who was the Queen of England during this era with the Spanish Armada?
Isabella the first.
What was
Wrong. The first.
it? Wait.
Isabella.
Isabella the First? Nope.
Elizabeth the first.
Elizabeth the First.
Oh, I
You were
wrote-
thinking of Spain. That's
Oh,
what that
yeah.
was. At least you have right ideas. Like you have the right names. You're just not with the right people. All right. What year was the Spanish Armada destroyed?
Let's start with,
It's a year.
First with the Y.
I'm afraid that's not it.
Okay, couple seconds. We gotta go. Okay.
1588.
1588. Making
There's
sure?
an ending right there.
Yes, it is correct.
Oh, that's 3.
Alright. So getting over into the French now. Who led the expedition that discovered the St. Lawrence River? Okay? His last name begins with a C.
Why is it with Spanish people in C's?
Okay, this guy's French, but C.
Oh!
This is French expedition now.
Oh. Starts with where's the first name start with?
J.
James Coronado?
Nope.
What?
I know nada.
Do not put
Okay.
English and Spanish together.
Alright, Jen's turn. Okay, Ethan?
John Gavin.
What?
Wait, what's the question?
Who
No.
discovered the St. Lawrence River?
Yeah, John Gavin.
Nope. Someone's about to write this in a minute.
We don't know it.
I'm worried that we don't know first.
Okay,
He's
write
the
it
one that
down.
tried it first.
Alright, Jacques, or it looks like
Oh,
Jacques,
same thing.
if it looks at, so Jacques Cartier, or
Jacques
Cartier is how it looks on spelling, so just how it looks based on English pronunciation, Jacques Cartier. But how you say it correctly, Jacques Cartier. So just make a
Like
note, like Jacques, it's, what is it? It's Jack in French, so it's Jacques.
Jack?
Yes, it's how they say Jack. Alright,
Yeah. My turn.
what is the year for the founding of New France? Well, Quebec, and then for like, that was
1 second.
1.
What is it? What?
It's a year!
Is it in the
Is it
60s?
5 or 6?
Hold up, boys.
1 6.
Okay, I'll help you out.
There.
Okay, now go.
1643.
1643? Nope.
1608.
1608 is correct. 1608.
1640 is completely threw me off.
Just
Just say 43. That was a wild guess.
Oh, whoops. Oh, well.
There's nothing up there. I was looking for it.
Oh, okay.
1607 is right there.
Yep, that one's coming. Alright, who claimed the entire Mississippi River Valley for France?
La Sala?
I'll take it. Robert Cavalier de la Salle. It looks
De la
like
Salle.
Sally, but yeah, de la Salle.
Fine.
Mississippi River for France.
Alright, who had the nickname the Father of New France because he helped found Quebec? Alright, his last name begins with a C. You're right, they are all C's. Okay, come
What is his
on.
first name start with?
First name begins with an S.
An S?
S.
Does it sound like an S?
Yes, actually.
Samuel
Just let's not
Adams.
do that because she can see it in the camera.
Samuel Adams.
Nope. Okay.
Champagne.
Good job. Samuel de Champagne.
Like,
Yeah, it's spelled.
You can't
Alright.
complain.
What? I guess resource is the best way to word this. What resource was the most profitable resource for the people going to New France?
Skins on purpose.
Okay, for trade. Yes.
Human trade.
Slightly ominous. No, not that. Not that. Definitely not that.
This is rigged.
Alright.
Ew.
What is the best known French heritage city in the United States today? It's in Louisiana.
Is
You
it
can't say third class. Work on your own stuff. I know your homework's not done.
She probably thinks it's Napoleon Bonaparte.
Would you leave her alone? Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Okay.
I forgot. It's on my phone. I don't know. It's real quick.
Okay. New Orleans, correct? New Orleans.
Fine. I've gotten 5 8 times.
I'm sorry.
Who found
Alright,
Pacific Ocean?
so that Pacific Ocean, that one is Vasco de Balboa, Pacific Ocean. I don't know, you did. Okay, who has 30 points or more?
Me? I already said that.
Anybody has more? Okay, anyone has 40 points or more?
I think I got 20.
Me.
Do you have 40 points or more?
I have
Prep?
40.
Okay, anyone want to rival Ethan?
Come
You
on,
got the
come
hammer
on.
that.
I got
I have
69.
Come at me.
Alright, go ahead and take out a clean piece of paper, a pen and pencil. I'll just risk a run.
Chris Brown doesn't show up on Monday.
Alright,
That
take
was
out
a
2
lot.
pieces of paper because you are all closely knit, so you're gonna have to have your cover sheets with you to make sure you're not cheating off each other.
Is it open both ways?
No. Anyway, alright, 2 pieces of paper, a pen and a pencil. I guess technically just a pen.
Two?
No.
Or am I gonna have quiz 1?
This is quiz 2.
I know, but what about the
I did it back to you already the other day.
I know, but the ones that we,
It's not even, not paper like these, but
like, written with, like, you know.
Pre-written.
Yeah,
You'll
pre-written.
be
like you
okay.
said.
You'll be okay.
Well, why can't we take those?
Because we're on reading.
Corona?
No. I'll
I
take
think
it.
Corona.
Alright, so make sure you write your name and the day at the top. Today is the 14th. Make sure you're doing it in pen, not pencil. Now go ahead and number it 1 through 10.
What's the quiz?
Today is quiz 2. If you want to write just quiz 2, I know which quiz this is. If you want to write U.S. History quiz 2, that's fine. If you just want to write U.S. 8 or USH quiz 2, that's also fine. I know which one we're talking about. Alright, number 1. Who discovered, did you have a question, Reckon?
I wasn't done writing the date. Alright, we're ready now.
Who discovered Florida? Who discovered Florida? Do your best with spelling, but if you have no idea, just write last name, because that's the most important part. But do your best for spelling. If you want the full credit, do your best for it. But if you have no idea, just put down the last name. If you have no clue, pray harder and study more. Number 2. Who discovered the Pacific Ocean? Who discovered the Pacific Ocean? Number 3. Who conquered the Aztecs of Mexico? Who conquered the Aztecs of Mexico? Number 4. Who conquered the Incas of Peru? Who conquered the Incas of Peru? Number 5. Who discovered the Mississippi River? Who discovered the Mississippi River? Good, it doesn't actually say. What is the oldest road in the United States?
Oh my.
What is the oldest road in the United States? No. Quiz. Number 7. Who was the king of Spain during the era with the Spanish Armada? Who was the king of Spain with the era of the Spanish Armada? Yeah, that's why I had to make sure really quick. Number 8. What year was the Spanish Armada destroyed? What year was the Spanish Armada destroyed? Don't write that. Wrong, I'm telling you right now. Think write something else. Number 9. Who was known as the father of New France? Who was known as the father of New France? Number 10. Who claimed the entire Mississippi Valley for France? Who claimed the entire Mississippi Valley for France? Alright, underneath number 10, you may write B for bonus, because I know the names are crazy hard to spell, so this is to help you out and balance out with that, but you should know them. Just saying, you should know them. Alright, okay, we'll put it this way. Write out both countries that the line of demarcation influenced. So there were two countries that the line of demarcation influenced. I gotta have both of them. Write out both countries. Alright. Now, does anyone need anything repeated? Yes, Genesis.
1, 4, 8, 10.
Oh my. Alright. Number 1, who discovered Florida? That's 1. Who discovered Florida? 4 was who conquered the Incas of Peru? That's number 4. Number 8 was, find it. What year was the Spanish Armada destroyed? What was the last one? 10? And 10, who claimed the entire Mississippi Valley for France? Okay. Did you need a different one?
5 and 9.
Okay. So I could maybe go over all of them. Okay. Number 5, who discovered the Mississippi River? That's for 5. Who discovered it? And then number 9 was who was known as the father of New France? Okay. Does anyone need 3 at this point?
Tell me what the number 9 was an interest in.
Nope. Me too, both. Yes. Anyone need number 3 at this point?
Nope.
Okay. Anyone need anything else repeated? I think that was the only question though. Alright. Anyone still working? Okay, I'll give you another minute. Sure to use your cover sheet, put it down so people in the video can't cheat off the paper.
Good thing about that.
I don't think they can see it. I don't think the angle is high enough, just in case. Keep hiding your own paper for free, so that way you're not tempted to talk to other people. Chances are you still working. Alright, go ahead and hand it to me. Again, like I told you in chemistry, I won't be able to have them graded before you leave school at 2 o'clock because I'm teaching for the rest of the afternoon. But if you want to know your grade, I should hopefully have it reasonably fast up on InGrade this afternoon. Not InGrade, RenWeb this afternoon for it. I will probably not InGrade you. But keep in mind, Quentin and Jamie, please send me your quizzes as soon as possible for it. Alright, go ahead and check out your textbook. We'll go over the answers on Monday because I can't go over the answers right now in case Jamie and Quentin haven't taken it yet. So, let's go ahead and let's get into your next chapter, chapter 2 already. We're getting into England specifically now, and that's where this time chart comes from, specifically focusing on the 13 original colonies and British colonization. Alright, who wants to read the quote by William Bradford at the top of the page? I'm just going to pick somebody. Genesis, top of the page, 15.
All great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties and must be both enterprise and overcome with the answer to the first.
Good job. So, was it hard to go colonize a whole new land? Do you think it was hard, Ethan?
Nah, it was just very, very hard.
Yeah, it was very, very hard typically. So that's what he's talking about, is all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties. And most must be enterprise and overcome with answerable courage. He's saying that yes, going somewhere brand new, where there's nobody else to help you, is very hard and very difficult. So he's saying, okay, yes, these were brave people, and yes, it's going to be hard. But he's saying for any honorable action, that yes, it is worth it. Alright, so this is the chart that's in your book for it on page 15. Couple of dates if you want to go ahead and mark them on your chart as we're starting off our new chapter. Some of the major dates: 1497, 1607, 1619. There are actually 2 things that happened in that year that you need to know. So we'll talk over both of them, probably more on Monday and Tuesday. And then 1620. Go ahead and mark them. There's a couple of more dates. Oh, let's go ahead and give them to you. 1630. And then you might know this one already. I'm going to write off to the side so that people in the camera can see it. 1733. Anyone happen to know what happened in this year?
What? 1733?
1733.
Georgia colony found.
Georgia
Colony.
found it.
Georgia.
So you might remember if you live in Georgia, whenever you did your state project way back in elementary, you might remember hearing about this. Your book focuses because Georgia's history unique. Georgia's history in particular is kind of unique and kind of separate. That's what your book wants you to memorize the date for the founding of Georgia specifically, because it is kind of interesting how Georgia was founded a little bit differently than the other ones. Genesis, did you have a question?
1497.
Oh, it must be on the next page then. Sorry, it's not on this time chart, but it's the year for John Cabot that he was exploring, so that's why it's on the next page. Sorry, I thought they put it on the chart as well. Just not. Alright, just make a note, that is the date that you need to know for it. Alright, so who were the two leading countries kind of exploring North America before the British get involved? Keep in mind, North America. Alright, name one, Brecken. Spain, because that one's kind of all over the place. What was another one exploring North America? Ethan?
France.
France. Now, where is poor Portugal stuck exploring? Genesis.
The thing of Brazil.
Yeah, that's about it. So poor Portugal is just down there kind of chilling. So that's how come we're focusing more on Spanish and French and now English, since Portugal is kind of stuck. So that's why we're focusing now onto English as they start exploring more and more. Now, English is not a rival power up with Spain and France yet, because England's resources are pretty much located on the island of Great Britain. France, as they start trading with the Native Americans, and as they start trading, bringing the furs back home, they become more wealthy. Spain becomes a wealthy nation kind of quickly because of the gold that they get from the New World from the Native Americans. But keep in mind, what event happened that kind of slowed down Spanish development? Yep, so what year was that?
Spanish.
Yeah, but what year was that?
Oh, the years.
Yes. Oh, hopefully not. 1588. So, 1588 was the defeat of the Spanish Armada for it. So, maybe you know now, and you're happy, and maybe you realize, oh, depression, I'm really sorry. Alright, so, getting into England enters the race for freedom. So, whenever you have the Spanish Armada's defeat, that's whenever England starts to kind of rise up, because it's not like the Spanish lost all their ships. They did hurt the Spanish. So, once the Spanish lost some of them, English realized, okay, we have a chance now. And so they start coming over into the New World as well. Now keep in mind, the line of demarcation applied to only Spain and Portugal, so you also know now. But that's one reason why the English ignored it too, because they said that was the Pope's rule, and we don't care what the Pope said. So we're going to keep going and keep doing whatever it is we want to do. Alright, the first person your book has in your textbook is John Wycliffe. Your book points out that he was an important person because he was helping translate the Bible. Now, does anyone remember what the nickname for him was? Your book does not tell you here, so I don't think you can find it in your book. Okay, just gotta hand it up first. Good job. So monetary information, you don't have to know that because it's not in your book, but your book should. But I just wanted just to point it out. So John Wycliffe, he helped translate the Bible into English for the first time. William Tyndale, you make a note for him though, that he gave the English the first printed English New Testament. So just make a note for him. He's important because he helped them be able to get printed in their language. Why is it important that it's the first printed English New Testament?
Because that means we'll be giving out more information to the people.
Because remember, printing press allows things to be made cheaper and to allow it to be spread more easily. Plus, it's in their own language. They can read it. They don't have to rely on the Roman Church or the Pope to tell them what the Bible says. Here's a picture of what William Tyndale looks like. This is a side note. Alright, your book talks about Henry VIII. Alright, we're already talking about Henry VIII loosely in another class. We're going to kind of keep this kind of quick. Alright, Henry VIII, he broke away from the Roman Catholic Church. Why? We talked about this the other day. Anyone remember? Chris?
Because he couldn't divorce his wife and he wanted to divorce his wife to get his son.
So that's one reason why he broke away, because he said, nope, I want to be able to divorce my wife. Pope says no, I don't care, so we are no longer Catholic. The English people didn't really mind at this time. The Protestant Reformation was already spreading among the common people, so they were more of, okay, this works for us, and so they're okay. But he formed up the Church of England, and he formed up the Anglican Church. You're right, Chris stressed earlier, that it does look kind of like Anglican. Anglican is how most people pronounce it. Just make a note for that. But instead of saying, you are now all free to worship God as you want, he said, no. Instead of the Pope being the head of the church, I am now the head of the church as your monarch. So it's not like that they traded like one type of one type of false religion for another one. It just swapped over who was basically in charge. They still had some rules to follow, but this was closer to what the Bible taught, and they were allowed to at least worship closer. That's the reason why the English people were more excited about this. Alright, political freedom. Your book talks about in this section, kind of going back in time a little bit further back, that they had traditionally had limited representative government. Your book talks about King John. Alright, anyone know or remember loosely what happens with King John, or what was going on? Okay?
Didn't he get his head cut off?
Okay, maybe I didn't look to see how he died. Possibly. Okay?
Wait, how he died?
No, like what do you just know about King John?
Oh, he was like a horrible king.
Yes, he was horrible. Did you know that there's a reason that there is no like King John the First, King John the Second, King John the Third? Because people hated him so bad that there is no more King Johns of England. It's just King John, and that's it. That name is now reserved just for him, because we said, this is supposedly the king whenever Robin Hood happened. Now keep in mind, the Crusades really did happen, and King Richard the Lionheart really did happen. The legends of Robin Hood, we're not sure how true some of them are. There could have been multiple people that took the name Robin Hood and did various things.
That's true.
Wait a second. But yeah, they're not sure with the legends of a Robin Hood, how true that. But no, there really was a King Richard the Lionheart. There really was a horrible Prince John, or King John, because King Richard did go off on the Crusades. And so there really was a horrible king that basically was ruling for him. Now, again, the legends of Robin Hood, we don't know how true they are. It looks like that there could have been some people that were trying to do it, and they just took the name Robin Hood. But again, the legends have been greatly exaggerated, so we don't know how much they did and stuff for it. So again, we don't know, but there's some of them to where it seems like some of them are based in true people. But again, the legends and the stories have been greatly extended. We're not sure how true they actually were. Okay, does that answer your question now, Chris?
What did John do that was so bad?
Lots of bad. One of the major things your book points out was he tried to rule basically by ignoring what the people thought. He felt that the laws and rules didn't apply to him. He could do whatever he wanted, and the people said, no, you can't. I think he tried to. I don't know, like if he killed off the lords, but he tried to basically do whatever he wanted. And so they said, no, you can't do that. So some of the lords of the time got him to sign the Magna Carta. I don't know, that's more of a world history event, so we don't have time to get into a whole lot about it. But they forced him to sign the Magna Carta, which said, you as the king are going to obey English laws. You cannot just do whatever you want just because you want to, just because you're king. No, that is not a thing anymore. So, Magna Carta, to make it open, this guaranteed certain freedoms and granted a more permanent representative council, saying that, okay, kind of like our Congress, we have to have an advisory body to the king over what the king can do. Alright, Genesis.
The king was actually named Lionheart.
Like that wasn't part of his name. It was kind of like a title for him. Like it wasn't like his parents named him King Richard the Lionhearted. It was like a title that they gave him because he was supposed to be so brave. He necessarily wasn't really a good king for England because he was gone so much on crusades. He liked crusading more than ruling. So, and as a king of a people, you're kind of supposed to take care of your own people, not just go start wars and try to go conquer other people. So it's one of those. He was brave in the idea of wanting to go fight, but at the same time, people need you. You left them with King John. I mean, your people needed you at the time. Okay.
So is that why in the cartoon the king's a lion?
Probably, yeah. Okay.
How did they get him to decide? Did they force him by
I think they were threatening to kill him, if I remember. Again, I don't remember the exact event. It's been a long time since I've looked up to see what exactly happened. I took medieval history in college, and it's been a very long time since what?
What is it? Medieval history?
Yeah, medieval history in college. It's depressing. I decided.
Why?
Because lots of bad things happened in the
Plagues.
Middle Ages. Yeah. A lot of people were very mean to each other in the Middle Ages too.
Like they would kill each other just to kill him?
Yeah, pretty much. They would do horrible things to each other.
Good
Bad.
problem.
Okay, but anyway, so if I remember correctly, they threatened to kill him basically if he didn't sign it because he'd done so many things at that point. They were just about to have it, and it was about to be someone else was about to be king instead of you, and we'll just say you just died. And so, if I remember correctly, again, it's been a while, but they forced him to sign it. So you know that. So Magna Carta, this guaranteed the certain freedoms and it created a more permanent representative council. This council becomes known as the English Parliament, which is the representative ruling body, even for England today. The Prime Minister and Parliament are the ruling parties in England. That's how come the Prime Minister gets elected. Now, they still have a Queen of England, but she is more symbolic today, as opposed to actually be ruling. Raise your hand. Yes.
It's because she's was born like the 1700s.
Okay. No. But she was really, really, really old. You're right that she is now the oldest monarch for the English people. She surpassed, I believe, Queen Victoria 2 years ago. So she's been around since,
Oh,
like,
really?
she's been around for about, I think, I forget exactly how old she is, but she's getting definitely up there. She's definitely close. Alright, quick question.
Wait, Queen of England now?
What?
The Queen of England now?
She's the oldest monarch for the
How old
English
is she?
people. I don't remember something. It's definitely, it's high 90s. I just don't remember exactly.
She was 98 years old and beat coronavirus. Probably from just eating right and not doing the drugs or anything.
She
We had
had
30
what?
girls out who died from it.
I'm sorry.
She had coronavirus.
Okay, alright, we gotta go. Alright, so just make a note for that. So, comment. The Elizabeth age. So Elizabeth I, she became queen in 1558. So just make a note though. Not only was she the queen during the whole Spanish Armada incident, she also wanted to encourage Bible doctrines and prosperity in her nation. So even though she was queen, she still encouraged her people to try to shift away from the Anglican Church to more of an actual Protestant denomination. Alright, early English exploration, so 1497, note that date for it, that this is the date that John Cabot, he explored the eastern coast of North America from Labrador to Virginia. He came up with naming the island, or the section of land for Canada, Newfoundland. So typically today we kind of smash it together. Newfoundland is what he wanted to call it, but Newfoundland, we just say it really quick today. Make a note for that. This is her first, for England, her first and only solid claim in the North American territory. Gradually they start claiming more and more land, but this is the first claim of England for the New World. Alright, Sir Martin Frobisher, he was looking for a northwest passage. Again, kind of how like the French were doing, trying to find that northwest passage to kind of take a shortcut. Again, looking for it as well. Queen Elizabeth, she was hoping that again, because the Spanish still had a lot of ships, she was hoping that this would help break how many ships the Spanish had on the ocean at the time. This is right before there was Spanish Armada. And so she was hoping that if we found a waterway, we could take a shortcut and bypass them. They didn't, because there is no waterway. Sir Francis Drake, we already talked about him. What was Sir Francis Drake? We already talked about him, right?
A rapper. No, he wasn't a king. He was a sir that first he sailed, or second he sailed around the world 3.
Yep, we're not quite there yet, but yes.
Didn't he do something with crusades?
Not quite. He attacked the Spanish.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So what do we call that person that's attacking ships?
Terrorist, pirate.
A pirate. Yeah, I was looking just for pirates. So sea dogs or a pirate. So he was a pirate, but he also helped out with claiming the New World as well. So he sailed on a 3-year voyage around the world, the first Englishman to make it all the way around the world, and he did not die. So different from Ferdinand Magellan, and Ferdinand Magellan technically died. He did not, so he made it all the way. That's whenever he gets his knighthood, by the way. Whenever he makes it back to England, that's whenever Queen Elizabeth meets him and knights him on his ship for making it all the way back around. So that's whenever he actually gets his title. So your book points out that he claimed the Pacific coast up to California, but he claimed part of it for England. He named it Nova Albion, or New England. A lot of the countries at this time period were calling their territory like the New something. So like Spain, it was New Spain. France, New France. So Nova Albion is just a different way of saying New England. So make it up for that. He was claiming parts of California for England and calling it Nova Albion. Make it up for that. Alright, reasons for English colonization. So there were many desires for the English to go over into the New World. There's a couple of main ones for it. I keep forgetting to turn my slide. Queen Elizabeth first. Moving on. Alright, 3 main reasons for English colonization. I couldn't fit English all the way up here, so English colonization. First one, religious freedom. That was a major one. Now, you might think, oh, Anglican, that's kind of Protestant, so they should be more okay with different Protestant denominations. No, because remember, who was the head person, or who was the person in charge of the Anglican Church?
No, the king.
The king. So they saw people as trying to break away from the Anglican Church, as trying to break away from the king's authority. So they would even persecute people that were trying to get out of the Anglican Church. So again, Anglican Church is closer to what we would consider Christianity today, or types of Christianity today. But there still was a lot of pagan or Catholic tendencies in it. So that's what we had some people that were dissatisfied with it. The Catholics weren't happy with it, so they got religious persecution because the English people and the English monarchy saw them as being more loyal to the Pope of Rome as opposed to the English monarch. So Catholics Catholics were automatically persecuted. Puritans as well. Now keep in mind, there's Puritans, and then there's the Separatists that are a type of Puritans. A lot of people get them mixed up or think that there are three different groups. So just make a note, you have the Catholics, this is one of the major persecuted groups, and then Puritans. Now the Puritans, they wanted to stay as part of the Anglican Church, and they wanted to help purify. The Separatists said, no, we should just break away, let them do their own thing. There's too many problems, we're going to do our own thing as well. So just know that Separatist is a type of Puritan, basically that they're unhappy with the Anglican Church, but they say we should just break away from it at this point. Alright, so anyone have any questions about that? So do make a note that, wait till Jaden gets back, and then you can go. Jaden's back, you can go now. Alright, so just make a note that the two largest group of dissenters, or people that didn't like and didn't support the Anglican Church, were the Catholics and the Puritans. Separatists were a type of Puritan group. Alright, anyone have any questions about this? I'm going to students get confused on it. Trying to cut quick because most out of time. Alright, so political freedom was another reason for going over. Now, your book points it out in this area, because after Queen Elizabeth, you had King James II and his heir, Charles I. Now, even though the Magna Carta had already been signed, they were still trying to rule without Parliament. They claimed divine right of kings. Alright, so does the Bible talk about civil government, or does the Bible talk about government? Yeah, it does actually. Now, like how God established government with the idea of Moses supposed to govern the people of Israel and having judges over them. And then later on, whenever Jesus comes to earth, Jesus talks about paying tribute to Caesar. So they understood, the government is supposed to be like kind of sanctioned by God. You're supposed to obey civil authority over you. But they said, okay, God set up government, and I am the government. Therefore, to question me is to question God, and that does not work. So, but that's what the kings were trying to claim in this era. So, divine right of kings, which is a theory that the kings have the rule to have the right to rule absolutely with or without criticism because they are chosen by God. Okay, so they're taking it too far. Now, a lot of English people said, no, you're still a person and you still make mistakes, so you still can't do whatever you want. So, but because of this whole divine right of kings idea, a lot of people said, England's kind of unhealthy. I think I want to go over into North America now, into the New World, and try to live over there. So that's part of the reason why people came over, because they said, nope, I'm tired of this, I want to get out. Economic freedom as well. Alright, your book points out that there are several problems with economics in England. Really quick, there was the problem of inflation. Anyone know what inflation is? Okay.
The market inflation was like the money was pretty much useless.
Yeah, that's a side effect of inflation. So whenever they get a lot of, in our case, paper money printed, the price of general goods generally goes up because they're just mass printing money. That's when the government just can't print a whole bunch of money and say it's okay. No, because it throws off the balance and everything else. Also, you have the enclosure movement. The enclosure movement was whenever landowners, instead of growing crops, they started growing sheep. This is because of the textile industry was kind of starting to shift over in this era. So being more of a sheep herder was a more profitable endeavor. I'm gonna run out of time. All right, what's your question?
So you can grow sheep?
No, they want to start, I guess, raising sheep is the term I was looking for. All right, your homework for tonight. We'll finish talking about this on Monday. Homework for tonight. Read pages. Ready for the frickin'? 18 through 21. 18 through 21. Answer page 21, questions 1 through 7. Questions 1 through 7. Editorials, don't forget, due Wednesday. So if you're planning on going to the Grace Baptist Church Revival